So we'll see. I mean, he has shown some decent games before in TVP for sure. Like I was talking about that game on a Habitation Station against Zest. It was a while ago, but you know the guy can play the matchup. So let's get someone in there possibly to bump him on the head first, and maybe he'll play a little bit better. Once again, I am solo casting here. It's me in the booth alone. I've actually kicked out the other chair just to give myself a bit of room. It's pretty nice. Got the whole place to myself, feeling pretty comfortable. But tomorrow, of course, Wolf will be here. Moonblade is going to Gamescom, going to Germany, so it's pretty good. You know, you guys can watch him there if you want as well. If you're missing some Moonblade, I know someone out there, someone watching was saying she was missing Moonblade, but regardless, it's been fun so far. If you like it, you can also comment to me on Twitter. I'm at Brendan Valdez. You can talk on the Twitch chat. I'm checking that actually every once in a while because I do have the Observer PC for once, so it's pretty cool. Just trying to interact a bit more, I suppose, with the community as I'm all by myself. I don't have my my co-commentator to help me out. But so far, it's been pretty nice games. I've really enjoyed it a lot. In fact, it's been a great day so far, and just want to take a look at some of these stats for this matchup. Give me some time. GuMiho versus herO. GuMiho so far, like I said, you know, he's 3-0 versus Terran, 1-0 versus Zerg. So those are definitely his two matchups. Like I was saying before, he's great in those matchups. But versus Protoss, he's 0-1. We haven't seen much of his play. Overall, he is positive in all of those matchups over the course of his entire Pro League career. But I think we need to see more of this guy. He's definitely somewhere middle of the road right now. I wouldn't put him like with some of the best Terrans. But I feel like a lot of the guys like that on MVP are pretty much like that. You think of Losira. Is he one of the best Zergs in Korea? He's not really, but he's getting there. I mean, he's up as one of the best guys for MVP. He's really pulling his weight. And then you think about someone like GuMiho, even Blaze now. He's coming out. He's teasing a lot, or he's being very aggressive with his play. But he's really making it work. He's getting wins for his team. So GuMiho is another one of those guys. Just versus Protoss, I think we need to see more of these games. Like I said before, 0-1. Hasn't had the most experience here versus Protoss in the booth, even during the age of Protoss, as our CG guys deemed it. I wouldn't necessarily call Protoss overpowered. I would just say there are a lot of strong Protosses. That's where I stand. I'll just put that out there. herO, he's 9-2 versus Terran. He was one of those guys that was like 7-1, 8-1, and he like lost one big match. I think it was to Flash, and then everybody was like, "Whoa, how did that happen?" But gave him a week, gave him like a week and a half, and he was back. And I think he's going to be right and ready to go into this next game on Iron Fortress. He's got that Kespa Cup pin even on his jersey. He doesn't have like the 5 different CJ Entis logos as Hush did. Oh no, he does. He actually does. There you go. Anyway, guys, we're going to jump into game number 2, Iron Fortress, GuMiho versus herO. Down here in the bottom right, in the teal for MVP, it is GuMiho. And up here in the top right, in the yellow, it is herO. He's been the hero of his team for quite some time. He, especially in last season, he was just the guy that every time he came out, he really make it work. Hey guys, they don't have the headsets on, but I'm sure they know I'm talking about them. Need a light? Nice. I like it. Seemed like a couple of nice, cool fans there. Actually, the second floor here at the Nexon Arena is totally closed off. I said this before. There's some kind of amateur tournament happening sometime soon. The KEG. Not really sure what it is, but there's like a ton of PCs up here. So it's totally closed off. The fans aren't allowed up here today, but that just means there's more fans, I suppose, down there on the floor. There were actually a lot of fans for the SKT game, especially a little bit earlier on today. So herO just looking like he wants to start everything off pretty normal. We'll see that gas time and see if he wants to do anything too crazy. But I don't think so. Delaying that first gas even a little bit. I'm not going to go into that second one just yet. So probably just normal expand timing. Not as a Protoss player. Whereas GuMiho looking for possibly the Reaper coming in, getting that gas. Not a couple of bad builds here. This is kind of what we used to see all the time back in like round 1, like the beginning of this year. Round 1, round 2. There is the Reaper. Going to come out and scout the map. He actually did not send out any SCVs. Usually the safe way to do it as Terran is you send out one SCV and then you send out the Reaper as well. The Towel Terran is back, by the way. This is him. You guys saw his towel there. It's pretty cool. I'm going to go for the expand here on the low ground. And once again, he hasn't scouted at all with his SCV, and herO hasn't scouted anything, like literally nothing. He hasn't sent out one probe. He's just trying to get the most efficient mining and just trying to get out a pretty fast mothership core. Let's see where GuMiho goes. Looks like he's going the wrong way. And that's pretty bad because after that he's going to go north, and then he's going to go east, and by the time he gets there, there's probably going to be a stalker out and the mothership core. Like, it's going to be very hard for him to get in. Here was expecting the Reaper to come in, but it doesn't come in. And just going to sit back there. Not going to scout with it. Not going to go aggressive. If he actually like went straight to the base of GuMiho, he could have done a lot of damage, which is kind of funny. Of course, he didn't know exactly where GuMiho was, but I mean, if you look at his base, he's got one Reaper. Or at his units, rather. He's got one Reaper. It's up here. It can't hit air, but there you go. And GuMiho, as is the way of the Terran these days, going to put down a third CC very fast. Going to look to get that economy going very fast as well. And my question is herO going to punish it? He is going for the robotics facility first, which has not been scouted by GuMiho, but here comes the Reaper. And this is what I'm talking about. He had to go from the bottom left to the top to the right. And by the time he got to the base of herO, there's no way he can get in. Especially on this map. It's just not going to happen. So he's totally blind right now. He has no idea what herO's doing. All he knows is that he's on 2 base. That he has a mothership core. That's it. Not the best feeling, I would assume, for a Terran player. And judging by the fact that both those gases are not taking it, he's adding 2 gateways as well. Could be some kind of immortal play. And judging by GuMiho, it doesn't seem like he thinks anything is coming at all. Maybe it's just like an early 3rd CC with a bunch of observers? Or early Nexus? But that's kind of risky. Going for a lot of observers. And yeah, GuMiho just sticking back at home, getting out 3 Marines at a time, as well as getting that stim pretty early before going into that factory. Delays his tech very, very much with this kind of build. And still nothing from herO. There we go. He's just doing like the very old style, like the stay Colossi, get out like 3, 4 observers, 5 observers at times, kind of Protoss play, and then eventually get the Twilight Council. It's kind of interesting. It's been a while since we saw this. herO, definitely a player who used to play only really one style. Made one of these styles versus Terran very popular, the Blink into Robo, to defend against drops and possibly put on pressure of your own. Made that style very popular, and I think right now he's experimenting with a lot of different things as the Terran style has changed. And we'll see where he lands at the end of all of this. You know, give him a month to figure everything out, and that'll be good. But look, Reaper's going to come in, spot the 3rd, and back off. There was, I think it was in think it was like GSL. I think I was filling in for Dan or something, or Tosis, and some Protoss did a build with like double forge 1-1 with 2 Colossi with range, and they kept their army at the top of the third base ramp, and they just denied the scouting. They showed the Terran that they had a third base just by denying the scouting and keeping the army there as if they were defending the third base. And then eventually they hit a timing and the Terran had nothing, and he just got rolled. It was a really nice build, really well thought out, but it doesn't look like that's what herO wants to do. Seems like he's going very much... He's getting like Blink and a lot of Colossi and delaying his +1 armor for a very long time. The time right now is 9:30. So usually, you'd see herO after getting the Blink at the Robo, you get double forge and get it pretty early on, the 1-1. But this is definitely moving a bit away from his own style. By the way, herO does spot that third orbital dropping down. I'm not sure if he saw this army movement across. I think he has, just based on his army movements. He's looking forward. He already has 2 Colossi out, but a bit of a drop is going to come down. He did see the front with one of his observers, so he should know that the army is somewhere out on the map. And he's got a probe over here, actually, to spot it, so really nicely done. Is going to know not to move too far off the map. And yeah, GuMiho's smarter than to just force a drop there. He knows that herO knows. So once again, we are going to see this game going to at least, the later mid game here. And I think this is going to be pretty much, the norm across the board for a while. As these Terrans continue to make their third CCs very early, the Protosses kind of match that, get their third CCs, and all the PvTs these days have just been 3-base versus 3-base at least, unless something crazy aggressive has happened. And it's kind of good. It feels good. The games are more interesting, I feel, which is exactly what we're here to do, view some very interesting Starcraft. GuMiho now preparing an army. He's got a bunch of Widow Mines and Vikings. So he's going like, I don't know, he's just adding in the Widow Mines for buffering, but he's also got the Vikings to kind of, help out with the Colossi, of course. Try to do a bit of both styles. Bit of Maru, bit of every other Terran. Scan is looking for the Observer. Not sure if he got it. There was an Observer over here just before. So wouldn't be surprised if he got it with that. herO now going to add a bunch of gateways and get charge. And, that research takes a while to get across. But we'll see if GuMiho hits any kind of timing before it finishes. This hallucination is looking for the army. Will spot it. Very nice. Sees all the Vikings too. That's a really scary Terran army. Looking at supplies right now, GuMiho is 121.88 in terms of army. Blink is done, and the Stalker's got a pretty nice spot there. These Colossi are getting a lot of hits before the fight even begins, and the boys are pulled. And look at the army. It has to be recalled all the way back to the third base. It's going to have a lot less energy here. Only 1 time warp. Let's see how he wants to engage. There's so many Stalkers in the mix. Charge is not yet done. Only 6 Vikings as well. One Colossus in the main is going to go down for free, it seems. But at the same time, kind of distracting the army of GuMiho. No time warp goes down. Oh, Photon Overcharge at the third. And here we go. Trying to come from many different angles. Here is GuMiho. Charge is not yet done, but all the Widow Mines don't really get their hits. A lot of Vikings still remain, but not a lot of Zealots to do some tanking. But I think this should be cleaned up. He is going to kill everything. It was enough. Just not enough Vikings in the air, I feel. No Ghosts going with the Widow Mines instead, and the Widow Mines just did not get any hits at all that I saw that were really big hits, and it gets totally wiped out. Everything is shut down. Only 2 Vikings remain in the air. Everything's down. GG. herO winning game number 2. Taking a bit of a breather. He's like, whoa, that was kind of scary. Oh, I'm herO. It's fine. Still win the game. Very nicely done. It was a good idea by GuMiho, especially on that map. There's a lot of wide spaces. You can get in there, not get force fielded out. He had a pretty fantastic concave, but I feel like, I don't know, the early shots that the Colossi even got out in the middle of the map were very good, pretty key, taking out and making weak a lot of the units. And then the Widow Mines that were added in that were, committed to by GuMiho, I think he had like 6 or 8. And they all went down before they could even get their shots off, just because the observer positioning was fantastic. I think if a scan went down and took out the observer, maybe that would have been a lot harder for herO to win that game. But regardless, herO going to keep CJ's hopes alive, making this an even game now, 1-1. Not going to go down without a fight. And so we will get to see that last game as well. Seed versus Byung on what map? Echo. That's going to be the last map before the ace match if we get to it. But first, before that, game number 3, Departure versus Biel. But first, we're going to take a 3-minute break. We'll be right back.